Alright boys, here we go. Round 11 at Bear Pen in Hickory, South Carolina. I got a little okay start. I ended up third into the woods. I was super unexcited about this track. Just even hearing about what the four-wheelers went through on Saturday before we took off, and then actually walking the track a little bit, man, I was really not pumped about riding this one. You see, I end up third and then move back to fourth. Gary goes down, and then I move back into third. It's Byron Dodson and then Robert Creel in front of me. They checked out, and I rode horribly for this whole ride. There was so much dust, and it was so slick for me that I just couldn't get comfortable riding this course. And I can make all the excuses I want, but it was really just me riding badly, and I don't ever really train in riding this kind of conditions. I don't go out and ride when it's... I go out and ride when it's hot, but if it's this dusty, you know, I avoid this kind of stuff. So it's off camber. There's never really any good built-up berms. It was slippery. The sections of woods, quote-unquote, were terrible. They were short, and they were all this wide. And honestly, I don't want to just spend the whole time complaining about the course, but it was just not my favorite by a long shot, and I'm already planning for next year I won't be attending this race. We go out of what you would call the woods into a field section, and then there was a lot of this in this race. It was all hardpack, and on top of the hardpack was dust. And you would slide. If you accelerated into a turn, your back end would just walk out around you. And as you can see, the two guys in front of me, they're gone. They know how to ride this stuff, and I honestly just don't know how to do it. The dust was so thick also, and when you got behind anybody, whether it was somebody faster than you or whether it was just a lapper or something, the dust was so thick in spots that you couldn't see. You probably had 8 feet of visibility, maybe, if you were lucky. And I really just never got comfortable running this course. And what people say is experience is what you get when you don't get what you wanted. And what I want is tight woods and at least a little bit of tack in the ground. And what I realize is that I have no experience riding this kind of moon dust stuff. And it's the same going back to the Enduro Test 2 from my last video. That was just, I didn't enjoy it because you're just all over the place and there's not anywhere to get grip. People do it really well, and I'm just not one of them. You can see here coming into the turn, the indicators are there, there's flags, and then this is another one. You come up to this turn, you're accelerating, looks like you go straight. Nope, it's a hard 90-degree turn, and I just would have run through that tape into the field. You can see how hazy it is. The same way a GoPro doesn't do hills and elevation justice, it doesn't do dust justice. So what you see for dust, it's 50% or 75% worse than what it looks like on the camera. And so the spots where you can't see in the video, I really can't see at all. And it took forever for me to ever get any amount of comfort in the track. Like I think I ran 5 laps, and by the 3rd lap, I was starting to get comfortable. I hadn't yet gotten comfortable running the course. It was just that bad. It was one of these places where this was the entire course. It was just these bush hog brush mazes and no real woods to talk about. This section was real strange. It was that same kind of moon dust, super wide. This was this represents the longer sections of actually being in trees that we got. And it was so weirdly beat up that it was hard to ride it with any confidence. You come down that little marked downhill section, and this is the creek jump, and I'm a big chicken, so I chickened out on the first one and go around. They said you could skim that like creek or whatever that was supposed to be, but I also heard that it was really gross. Oh, I hit it at least once, and it was not a good jump. It was just a full like tomahawk into the other side of the creek, into the other side of the water, and I skipped it from then on. I wasn't worried about it. I just wanted to finish this race for points. I didn't really care where I finished. This is the creek. Not really much to talk about. It was just a little muddy creek with a not even that steep of a bank. Nothing difficult about it, you'd think. But I only ended up doing this 3 times, and each time it got progressively more congested. This time wasn't bad, but you can see there's more traffic. People are being real cautious about it. by the 4th lap they had taken this out of the course because there were spectators pulling people out of the creek. And this is the last time I have video of me running through it. You can see the guy stuck on my left, 2 guys stuck on my left, and then come down here and they point me up this line. And it looks like it's going to be rough, but whatever, it's just a creek, just get out of it. If the whole course would have been this type of woods, this low, you know, this had a little bit of moisture in it, good tree line, that's probably the tightest section of the course, and you know, it lasted for 30 seconds and you're back out into this brush cut garbage. And then after the whole, where there's just dust forever, after the start and checkpoint, they watered the track to make sure that there wasn't much dust right here, and I saw a bunch of people crash. And there was nothing impressive about my ride during this race. I ended up 4th out of, I think there were 9, and I'm okay with that. Whatever, I'll make it up somewhere else. And like I said, I'm not going to make many videos where I'm just super negative about the course, but this one feels like they didn't do anything other than bush hog some brush. I am looking forward to the next round, round 12 in Yadkinville for the Stomp. We'll see you guys there. Peace.